All right, sixth graders, this is the second part to your video today. And today we're going to be finishing up by looking at unit price. And so when you look at unit rate and unit price, I underlined unit again because in the unit rate video, we talked a lot about the word unit looking like a unicycle or a unicorn. Okay, by knowing how much is in one, we can apply this to a bigger number. Okay, and we can figure out what the best buy is for our money. So Ms. Tversky, when are we going to use this target if I can use ratios to understand relationships between unit rates and unit costs? Okay, last chapter we talked about ratios, which there are all different types of ratios. They're comparing two different things. We talked about how we can compare our favorite ice cream flavor to our favorite Instagram page, or we can compare boys to girls, or we can compare who likes Backstreet Boys versus NSYNC. And I know you guys don't know who those artists are, but if you were back in my day in middle school, you knew that Backstreet Boys was definitely better than NSYNC. Okay, so a ratio is comparing two different things. We use it all the time without saying, oh, hey, that's a ratio. But I dare you to try and count today how many things in our lives are a ratio when we compare them. Okay, so today, unit price. A unit price is a unit rate that gives the price of one item. Okay, so this is huge for budgeting, or if your parents give you a $20 bill and you're trying to figure out what the best buy is for your money. We use unit prices all the time, especially when you get older and you're going to the grocery store. Okay, so a few examples together. Okay, they want to know how much fidget spinners are. Okay, so it says a fidget spinner sells at Jewel Osco 3 for $15. How much is one fidget spinner? Okay, so at unit price and unit rate are a lot alike. Okay, I want you to write in your notes price over amount. Okay, if you remember that your price will always go on top, you'll be set. So price over amount. All right, so Ms. Tversky, why do we need to know that? Well, if you look back on this slide here, it says that there were $18 for 3 shirts. So 3 shirts were $18. Well, now we can set this up equal to trying to figure out how much one shirt would be. Well, to get from 3 to 1, okay, we would divide by 3. And we've learned if you divide on the bottom, you have to divide on the top. So 18 divided by 3 is $6 a shirt. Well, if you know that the shirts here at whatever store you like to shop at are $6, could you figure out how much 10 shirts would be? Okay, so that's where I'm getting the price up top and the amount down below. So price over amount. It says fidget spinners sell at Jewel Osco 3 for $15. How much is one fidget spinner? Okay, so my price would be $15. Okay, and that was for how many fidget spinners? Well, that was for 3 fidget spinners. So how can I figure out how much would be in one? What do you think? How would I get from 3 to 1? Well, to get from 3 to 1, I know I need to divide by 3 because I'm trying to figure out how much one fidget spinner is. And if I divide by 3 on the bottom, I need to divide by 3 on the top. And 15 divided by 3 is 5. What does that mean? It is $5 for one fidget spinner. Okay, so now we can apply that a little bit further. How much would it be for 10 fidget spinners? How do you know? Go ahead and answer that question for me. How much would it be for 10 and how do you know? Now this is one of those examples where you can get your answer through pictures, okay, through a graph. You can get this just by doing the math. But I want you to come up with your answer and go ahead and type it in the box for me. All right, well if you know it is $5 for one fidget spinner, I know then that I can do $5 for my 1 times my 10 that you want to get a total of $50. Go ahead and copy that in your notes, please. All right, next, real world application. So it says you are buying holiday gifts for your family. All right, it says you want to buy the best deal for your money. Your brother wants a few video games. GameStop has 4 video games for $65. Walmart has 6 games for $66. And Best Buy has 5 video games for $60. Who has the best deal for the video games? Show your work. So I want you guys to go ahead and challenge yourself with this first. Think about what we did in the last slide with the fidget spinners at one store, okay? And try and figure out what do you need to do to figure out what is the best deal for your money. Okay, go ahead and pause this video, type your answer into the box, and then when you are done, press continue, and I will go ahead and walk you through my thoughts on this. Okay, so my thoughts on this, guys, is I'm going to go ahead and say, all right, well, Best Buy. Best Buy had 5 for $60. Well, on the slide here, we learned prices on top, items or amount is on bottom. All right, so moving forward, if Best Buy had games 5 for $60, I know that my 60 needs to go on top and my 5 needs to go on bottom. Okay, now I need to figure out how much is in one game or how much one game costs. So to get from 5 to 1, I divide by 5. I know 60 divided by 5 up top would be 12. What does that mean? It is $12 per video game at Best Buy. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and circle my work so I know that. Now let's talk about Walmart. Okay, Walmart has 6 games for $66. So I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, well, $66 for 6 games. Well, how would I get from 6 to 1? Because I want to figure out how much one game is. Okay, to get from 6 to 1, I know I need to divide by 6. Okay, if I divide by 6 on the bottom, I need to divide by 6 on the top. And 66 divided by 6 gives me 11. So at Walmart, it's $11 for one game. What about GameStop? How can I figure this one out? Well, GameStop has 4 video games for $65. So I'm going to go ahead and do $65 for 4. And I want to figure out how much is in 1. Well, to get from 4 to 1, divide by 4. So now I need to do 65 divided by 4. When you do 65 divided by 4, you'll get $16.25 per game. So out of these, which is the best deal and why? Well, let's see. We have games here for $16.25. We have games up here for $12 and games here for $11. So Walmart is the best buy for your money. Now, why does this work? Why does it make sense? Okay, where are you going to use this? This is huge. I've had so many 6th graders say, yeah, but at GameStop you get reward points. Or at Best Buy, they also have really cool games. They're better than Walmart's. Guys, think big picture though. When you go and you work at State Farm or the real world and you're trying to figure out the best buy for your money, you're going to want to make sure that it's the cheapest because that's what's going to save your company money. All right, what happens if you go for the $16.25 and let's say that you're a CEO for one big company and you want 200 of your employees to get video games? Well, $16.25 times 200, when you do the math on that, that's a lot, right? So $16.25 times 200 is $3,250. So when you work for big corporations or big areas, every penny counts, all right? So Walmart should be the best deal for this one. Let's touch base on this. You and 3 other friends go to see a movie. Your friend Max bought 4 tickets for $32. He knew each of his friends owed him money for their tickets. How much was one ticket? Go ahead and solve this one on your own. We're going to go ahead and go over this tomorrow as a class. Okay, I want to see all of your work and your reasoning. Okay, let's touch base on this one. It says strawberries are on sale at Walmart, 2 pounds for $5. How much would 16 pounds be? So I see a lot of students do this. I see a lot of students with this error analysis saying that, okay, it's 2 for 5, so I'm going to go ahead and put my 2 over my 5, and they want 16, so I'm going to do 2 over 5 times 16. I'm going to end up getting $6.40, $6.40 for those 16 pounds. I want you guys to look at that answer. Is this realistic? If 2 pounds were for $5 and now I have 16 pounds, okay, I want you guys to think about how would you solve this? What did this student do wrong is my first question. Okay, how would you solve it? And can you think of another way you could solve this, either with a visual, okay, or a chart? Go ahead and try that on your own. All right, after you have solved that problem that we just did, go ahead and start this one with me together. All right, it says here, the graph to the right correlates the number of hours you spend, okay, on Snapchat to the number of snaps you receive. At this rate, how many Snapchats would you receive in 6 hours? Use the rate snaps received per hour to help you solve your work. So snaps per hour to help you out, okay? So let's touch base on this problem. It's our last problem of the day. Okay, and remember our target that we're still working towards today is the idea that ratios, okay, have relationships with unit rates and unit costs. So I can use ratios to understand relationships between unit rates and unit costs. Let's touch base on this. It says the graph to the right correlates the number of the hours we spend on Snapchat. So down here we have hours, okay? Over here we have snaps received. Okay, so in 1 hour, this person receives 15 Snapchats, or snaps, I guess they call them. In 2 hours, a person receives 30 snaps. 3 hours, 45, 4 hours, okay, 60, 5 hours, 75. What I love about this problem, okay, is that we already know the unit rate, how much they get in 1 hour. In 1 hour, this person gets 15 snaps. So knowing this, boys and girls, how many snaps do you think this person would get at this rate in 6 hours? Go ahead and solve that. Okay, how much do you think this person would get in 10 hours? Go ahead and solve that. And when we touch base on this, okay, after you answer those questions, in 6 hours, I know all I need to do is multiply by 6, okay? 1 hour was 15, so 15 snaps in 1 hour times 6, well, 15 times 6, 6 times 5 is 30, carry your 3. 6 times 1 is 6 plus 3 is going to give me 9 or 90. So 6 hours is 90. 90 snaps, that's a lot of snaps, okay? And then how much would you get in 10 hours? Well, I could just do 15, my unit rate, 15 snaps in 1 hour. Well, what would I need to do to figure out how much is in 10 hours? What's another way that you are looking at this? How do you think you could explain this to another 6th grader who might be confused on unit rate? Go ahead and think about that idea. All right, 6th graders, as you finish up your video tonight, here are things I want you to focus on with your notes, okay? First of all, please make sure all of your notes are filled out today. As usual, if you have any questions, please make sure that on the side of your notes you put a question mark and we can touch base on your questions tomorrow. All right, but I would love to see that all notes are filled out to the best of your ability. Okay, the first thing I want to touch base on, I want you to rank yourself 4, 3, 2, or 1 on how you feel on unit rates and unit prices. Remember, we will continue working with these tomorrow, okay, but how do you feel on them? Do you feel, oh, I got this, or man, I'm really confused, all right? So go ahead and rank yourself. The second thing I want you to consider is what questions do you have from today's videos? All right, there were 2 videos, they're both about 15 minutes long. What questions do you have? What does this make you think of? What questions do you have? And the third thing I want you to consider today is what is the most interesting thing you learned about this video? Do you have any connections to real world examples, or what did it remind you of? Okay, tomorrow's plan, we're going to share your student work from your notes and explanations. I want to touch base on how are our ideas similar and different. Okay, I want us to be like, ooh, that's a good idea. I like how this student showed that they thought about it this way, okay? Because the more we're able to collaborate together, the better off we are. Okay, then from there, we're going to work on centers around the room using unit rates and unit price. We'll have a check for understanding at some point this week, okay? And then we're going to move into constant speed, miles per hour, miles per minute, all that fun stuff, okay? So go ahead, finish your notes today. Have a great night, and I will see you guys tomorrow.